Okay, welcome back. So here we're going to apply the fundamental theorem of calculus that we previously learned to regular functions. Now, these are what most typically would be asked of you. Just find the integral of a function from a to b. So let's look at example A. So example A is the integral from 0 to 3 of the function x plus 4. So here, what we would do is just integrate that x plus 4. So this would be, I'm going to skip forward with the plus 1s since I feel like we should be a little comfortable with that by now. So this is going to be x squared over 2 plus 4x. We just add on the x with the 4, plus 1, 1 plus 1. I'll do it that one time, but when we have a definite integral, we don't have a plus c. We're just going to evaluate at these endpoints. We're accumulating. So this would be from 0 to 3. Okay, so what we're going to do now, following our fundamental theorem of calculus, is we're going to evaluate at each of these endpoints. So this becomes, I like to put brackets just to keep them separate because there is that subtraction going on. So this becomes 3 squared over 2 plus 4 times 3 minus 0 squared over 2 plus 4 times 0. So if we just keep simplifying, we're trying to get a numerical value because we are accumulating a value. We get, still have to keep the brackets, 9/2 plus 12 minus 0 squared divided by 2 is just 0, and 4 plus 0 is just 0. So 9/2 plus 12, I'm just going to use a calculator for that. So what I end up with is 16.5 minus 0. And what this ends up being is just 16.5. Okay, so that is number 1. Let me just close this off. So that's number 1. It's a lot easier when 0 is one of your limits, most particularly your lower limit. It's just an easier calculation, but now we're going to see a calculation where 0 is not one of our limits, and we actually will be subtracting something of value. So for part B, same process. I need to integrate. So what this ends up being is 3x cubed over 3 minus 2x squared over 2 plus 7x. And we're integrating from 1 to 5. So we could simplify this, cross out the 3's, the 2's, and what we will end up with is x cubed minus x squared plus 7x. We're integrating from 1 to 5. Okay, so now what we need to do is evaluate at our endpoints, our lower and upper limits. So bringing this up here, plugging in 5. In our first bracket, we'll have 5 cubed minus 5 squared plus 7 times 5 minus, plugging in 1 now, 1 cubed minus 1 squared plus 7 times 1. Okay, so I'll leave you with the in bracket calculations. So what you should end up having, forgot an equal sign here, sorry. But what you should end up having is 135 in the first bracket minus 7 in the second bracket. And this is where that negative, keeping the brackets separate and having the negative in between is important because this is going to be 135 minus 7, not plus 7. And so this ends up being 128. And that would be the answer. Okay, so that's it for letter B. Let me close that off as well. Okay, let's move on to letter C now. Letter C is a little bit of a different setup. We have 1 minus x times x minus 4. So here, in order to take the integration in order to take the integral of this function, we would need to distribute these two expressions and come up with a much cleaner expression to integrate. So we're going to distribute 1 times x, 1 times -4, negative x squared, and then 4x. So let's go ahead and write that out. So what this becomes is the integral, just rewriting the integral from 1 to 4. Let me do this process again. So 1 times x is x. Then 1 times -4 is -4. And then negative x times x is negative x squared. And then negative x times -4 is positive 4x. And don't forget your differential dx. So if we clean this up and simplify, we should end up with negative x squared plus 5x minus 4 dx. Okay, so we want to integrate this function. So you notice how it's way easier to integrate now as opposed to what it was before we distributed. So we're going to integrate this as we normally would. So this would be negative x cubed over 3 plus 5x squared over 2 minus 4x. And we're integrating from 1 to 4. Okay, so almost done. Now we need to evaluate at our upper and lower limits. So coming back up here, we would have first bracket, negative 4 cubed over 3 plus 5, 4 squared over 2 minus 4 times 4. And now I'm going to plug in 1. That's our lower limit. So 4 times, excuse me. This would be negative 1 cubed over 3 plus 5 times 1 squared over 2 minus 4 times 1. So I'll leave you to the calculations once again, but what this should be is you should end up with 8/3 in the first one. If you have a decimal, that's okay. But you should end up with 8/3 in the first bracket. Excuse me, I'm forgetting my equal signs again. And you should have a negative 11 over 6 in your second bracket. So once again, if you have decimals, you're using that, that's okay. I'm just keeping it exact answer. But what this ends up being is 8/3 plus 11 over 6, which is, putting in my calculator, 4.5. Okay, so that is letter C. I'm going to stop the video for now, and we'll do the rest in this next video. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.